Welcome to this beautiful morning in Kenai Fjords National Park, specifically Exit Glacier. We're going to kick this visit off by hiking up the
Harding Icefield Trail.
That's right. It's only 4 miles out and 4 miles back, 8.3 in total. However, it comes along with 3,500 feet of elevation gain. So here we go.
Kenai Fjords is nestled in the southeastern coast of Alaska. Here, you can experience both glaciers that meet the sea and pristine wilderness. As we mentioned, our adventure begins with a trek on the Harding Icefield Trail, which ascends to the heart of a frozen kingdom. We found that the trail challenges and rewards in equal measure, leading you to a summit where the world unfolds beneath your feet. Glacial blue ice, rugged mountain peaks, and the immense expanse of the valley below create a scene that etched itself into our memory forever.
We are about 1.5 miles in. We've had about 1,200 feet of elevation gain with 2.5 miles to go. Now that we are officially in Marmot Meadows, the majority of the climbing actually starts. Yeah, I know it looks like we've been moving up, and we have, but the elevation rate of change increases drastically now. And we are already over the toe of the glacier, so I'm really excited as we get on up if the blues continue to get boosted by today's sun or what happens. But
let's see.
Time to get back at it.
As we climbed, the trees turned to low tundra and then only rock remained. The average tree line height in Kenai Fjords is around 1,500 to 2,000 feet above sea level. Beyond this elevation, the challenging Arctic conditions limit the growth of trees, giving rise to the unique landscape that defines the Alaskan wilderness. After a snack and short relaxing break, it was time to head back down. One may think the work was now done, but the elevation change on this trail is so steep that it was quite a bit of work to control our steps heading down as well. While absolutely worth it, this was one of the toughest day hikes we'd done in some time.
Well, good morning. Back from our campsite here. We stayed in the same spot the night before last and last night. And it's a really easy location to find off of I-Overlander, right along the river, sort of on the rock bank or shore, just outside the National Forest and the park. One thing I will make note of is really have to watch. If you get as close to the water as we have done here, when the melt from the glaciers with yesterday's really sunny day happened, the water came up quite a bit, which means we're back in this location, we think, again for tonight, but we're actually going to find someplace else on this gravel bar that's a little further away from the water, because not only are we likely to have a similar melt, but then stack on top of it, we've got some rain coming in, and we are worried about the water coming up here, because it actually came up about a foot last night, just with the sun that we had yesterday and the melt of the glaciers. Yesterday was an absolutely amazing day. It was a little longer than we expected. All Trails gave us 9.3, is that right? 9.3, Alana's right there. 9.3 miles with 3,300 feet of elevation gain. That's not, they advertise it at like 8.3, 8.4, but once you get out to where it sort of ends, there's some other overlooks and trails that we took some time to explore as well, which I'm pretty sure added to that. Today we're not sure exactly what we're going to get into. We may go back towards Seward, go south. We may just go in and hike some of the smaller trails today. I've got a meeting here in the morning that I need to attend. But the following day we're pretty excited about. Alana has scheduled a boat tour for us, so we're going to do the 7.5 or 8 hour tour, the longer day tour of the boat tour, to go up to the glaciers and other things like that. Now, if you're in the area, while we didn't opt into it, there's also plane and helicopter tours. And with our walk up there to the Harding ice field where we went, I think it would be amazing to fly out over top of that. We've got a lot of other flights coming with other national park visits, so we didn't add it to this one, but if you thought you were interested, I think it would be an amazing ad while you're here. So I don't know what we're into today, but we'll update you as soon as we do know. Well, what we decided to do was come back up here to Exit Glacier, and instead of taking the big hike, we're up to the Harding ice field. We're just gonna take a little easier day, handle some of these wider gravel strolls, and check out the lower section. We may still have time to go out and south of Seward a little bit. The reason we stunted is the fog still hasn't really lifted. Yeah. So we're worried that if we put the energy out and getting to higher elevation, we're likely actually gonna block some view. So we're gonna see what we can see down here in the lower ground. How do you keep the mosquitoes away, Alana? Yeah. Mosquito. Yeah. Karate. Ninja mode. Engage. Hiya. Cha. 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 Hee. Hoo.
The lower trails of Exit Glacier offered us 2.2 miles of exploration. We found many of these trails to be very well maintained and suitable for ADA access. They do change as you make your way to most overlooks to narrow single tracks where good balance is recommended.
Well, as you can see, the fog and cloud cover has lifted. It did it really quick, and it did it splendidly with just sort of this awe impact as pockets of blue showed up, the sun poked through, and then it leaves behind these little streaks of fog and cloud on the mountains that just sort of leads a little bit to the imagination of what you're seeing. So it's starting to get hot. It's amazing how much the temperature changes here just by the sun being present. So now we're like motivated, we're pumped. We're not sure what we're going to get into, but it might not be the easy day we were thinking. I don't know. Maybe Alana will hold me to it.
We walked along the river for much of our return back to the truck. Once there, we drove to the opposite side of Seward to hike the Tonsina Creek Trail that is on state recreation land. We parked at the lower trailhead, but if we were to revisit, we would opt for the upper parking area. There is a $5 day use fee and $20 if you plan to backpack and camp. Our initial plan was to stop at the Tonsina Creek and turn around. However, after watching the salmon there, many of which had spawned and were now swimming zombies, we decided to explore a bit deeper along the trail network. Ultimately, we made our turnaround at a backpack camping area that was stone's throw from the shore.
Well, yesterday ended up being a really fun bonus day. We did really enjoy that second hike that we went on, and we are glad we moved our campsite to not quite as pretty, but a little sheltered, because man, when the rain came in last night, so did the wind gusts. It was rocking and rolling last night, and the rain continues today. We have come down this morning, down into Seward. We are at Harbor 360 Hotel and Marina. It's where we pick up the
major marine boat tour.
The major marine boat tour, the 7.5 hour, 8 hour tour to go see some fjords and some glaciers and some other fun stuff. So the weather may not participate with our fun, but we're not going to let it bring us down.
Right.
We're going to have it.
There are several tour options ranging from 4 to 8.5 hours. The longer the tour does not mean more things to see, but rather different things, as each tour follows unique routes. We chose the 7.5 hour tour as it offered the most glacier stops and traveled similar water as a tour that is dedicated to whale watching. This said, we learned that the captains work pretty hard to put you near wildlife, no matter what tour you are on, by communicating with each other on sightings. Beyond the Ayalik and Holgate glaciers, we saw Dall's porpoises, sea lions, sea otters, and harbor seals, along with puffins and eagles. This, unfortunately, was all between lots of raindrops as the weather worsened throughout the day. Good weather or bad, the tours all travel into the Gulf of Alaska, which is notoriously rough. If you are taking one of these tours, take something for nausea before departing, even if motion has never bothered you before. Trust us. There were many on our boat that were miserable and regretted not taking something.
Well, the fjords were absolutely great. Even though the rain tried to ruin our fun, it actually did limit our footage just a little bit, but it was still a very enjoyable time. Hopefully you enjoyed our footage of that visit. It's actually the next day, and we are at Katmai Air. This is next week's video for you. We are headed out to Katmai, hopefully see some grizzlies, some salmon, some other stuff. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.